Nice embellishment that can go along slip covers, pillows, or any other item in the soft furnishings industry. You need to take a piece of fabric. This is just a faux silk, nothing special. The piece that I have right in front of me is 19 inches long, so 19 inches long and 4 inches wide. The width of the fabric, the 4 inches I just mentioned, is what is going to determine the width of your prairie points. Now the first step in this method is to use a straight edge ruler. Now this happens to be 2 inches wide, just a T-square. So I am going to use it to divide right down the middle using my chalk pen. You can see my little line that I made there. And then the object is to make sort of a checkerboard pattern with 2-inch squares all along both sides. So what you need to do is try not to erase your chalk lines, but I'm just going to use my pencil. If you prefer to use chalk, you can. Every 2 inches, I'm going to mark on only one side. And there's an odd amount of fabric left. There will be an inch left, and that is so you can make your checkerboard pattern. So right here on the end, I have 1 inch left. I'm going to use my smaller T-square and carefully, without erasing my white chalk line, I'm going to mark the sides. Now you can, if you have a lighter fabric, you could certainly just use a pencil. The pencil marks will be covered up. And then you need to repeat this for the other side. The only difference with this side is you're going to, like I said, the checkerboard pattern, so your extra inch of fabric is going to be on the other side. Now a little trick that I have developed is, since this T-square is 1.5 inches and not 2 inches, I'm just going to use the dimension or the measurement on this side to sort of just mark. Now once you have made all of your marks with the chalk, like you see here, you're going to take your shears and cut all the way to the center line right here, and do the same on the other side, and do not cut past the center line that you see. So I'm going to start here on this side. Now just be nice and try not to jostle around the fabric too much, because the chalk will flake off. Now that's a good thing when you're completely finished with this method, but you don't want to lose your lines that you're currently cutting on. So go ahead and cut this side and then flip it around and repeat for the other side. Now that you've cut your fabric as instructed in the last step, you're going to take your little piece that's only 1 inch and cut that off right at that center line, like so. So you do it once on each side, and you can toss those. Now what you need to do at this point is keep it nice and straight. So I'm going to use just some pins to hold it in place. You know, no random placement, doesn't have to be perfect. But you're using that so that you can hold the fabric in place as you fold each of these to the center. Like so. And just use a pin to hold in place and fold it again, the next one, all the way towards the center. And repeat this all the way down the front side and all the way down the back side. Now you can see that I have folded all of my 2x2 squares all the way to one side, so they're all pointing in one direction. I'm going to now take my iron, and I place my pins all the way, essentially towards the middle, so that I can get steam and heat to every single triangle that I folded. I just need to press those so that they're nice and flat. So repeat this method for both sides. Now that you've pressed everything down with your steam, you need to fold these all one more time. Now taking the outermost point, so right here on this side and right here on the other side, you're going to fold those towards the center. And as you're going down, it doesn't matter which side that you start from, but you need to fold them all to make smaller triangles. Repeat this for one side as well as the other side. Now that you've folded the triangles a second time, you need to take your steam again, your iron, and press all of those triangles down once more. So it's just really important that you're pressing the side that you folded down at this point. So we're going to do that for one side, and then we're going to turn around and do it on the other side as well. Now that you've pressed both sides down, it's time to take all the pins out. Now this is the really fun part. You get to see pretty much everything that you've created. And you can adjust the size of your prairie points, the triangles that you see, by adjusting the squares as long as they are equal on all four sides. If you want to do 3x3 squares, your fabric is going to have to be 6 inches wide. Now all we do at this point is we're going to take one side, so we're going to take the side closest to you and fold it towards me. We take a triangle and we fold it down and do it to the next one, and so on until you go all the way down the line. Now that you've folded all of your triangles towards one side, you're going to take your steam one more time, press everything down, pin it together, take it to your machine, and stitch as close as you can towards the straight edge, so the edge closest to you. Now everything is pressed down nice and flat. Before you take it to your machine, you might want to use a couple of pins just to hold it in place till you get there, just a couple. You don't need to overdo it, and try not to stretch the fabric. So just going to put a couple of pins in. And now we're going to go to the machine and stitch it. Now taking the flat side, the triangles that you folded, you place it underneath a zipper foot or any other type of foot that you want to. I usually let the presser foot determine how wide or how much space that I give my stitches from the end. And as you can see here, I've done it right along the edge as close as I possibly can. It's a little less than 1/4 inch. Just stitch on one side as close as you possibly can, taking out your pins that you don't need to hold it down as you go along. And just try to go nice and slow so that nothing comes out. And backstitch if you can on that end. Sometimes it's just not possible or the fabric will shift. And as you can see here, I have stitched it right as close as I can to the edge. And then when you apply this to your pillows or any other item that you wish to apply it up along the edge of, you just stitch it right beyond the stitch line that I made right now, and all of your stitches will be encased inside the item, and the edge of the prairie points, the inside here, they're not raw or anything like that, so they're not going to fray. So this is a really nice edge to go on numerous treatments.